Hey, I think we can start. I see that you look a little tired after 3 days of the conference, so I really appreciate that you are here now. Let's start with some audience check. It will be voting, so I believe in you. You can do that. It's just raising your head. You have energy for that. So the first question, who of you is developer? Okay, perfect. All of you. Who of you works in backend development? You people, perfect. Front ends? A lot of people here as well. Okay, so maybe something more difficult. Are there any people who consider themselves as lazy people? Okay, let's be honest. Almost everyone is a little lazy. And it's good because this talk should alternative name actually lead for lazy developers. So, you are in good place. Okay, maybe last question. Who of you likes first? Is anyone? Okay, only one person. Good to know because I have some story in the beginning. I will keep it short this way. Okay, accessibility. Difficult word, a lot of topics about that recently, but let's be honest, not everyone knows why it's important, how to do so, and what should matter. Before we will go there, let me shortly introduce myself. So, hello, I'm Dominika Zając, and I am Senior Software Engineer at Lighthouse. It's an international company mostly focusing on helping companies understand their clients, employees, and so on. Apart from that, I'm Google developer expert in web technologies. What is the most important? I'm programmer, education, and passion. If you want to connect with me, you have some links on the slides. And as probably you've seen yesterday, I'm also a huge karaoke lover. So if you want to talk about karaoke, I'm here. Before karaoke, let's go back to the business. So, once upon a time, long, long time ago, far, far away, there was a golden fish. Who knows the story? Anyone? Okay, so to keep it short, there's the story of golden fish who was caught by a fisherman, and of course he tried to kill her. But our golden fish was good in marketing, so she convinced them not to kill them instead of fulfilling some dreams. And during pandemic, I had many, many difficult thoughts, and I started wondering, so many people started working remotely, how our golden fish can work now. That's a huge question. Like normally she will went out to the sea, find another people, fulfill their dreams, but everyone moves remote. So our golden fish has to change something. And I thought she will create a website. Very, very simple website where you can put your name, email, wish, and once a month, for example, our fish is randomly choosing someone to fulfill their dreams. Look good, don't you think? As a junior developer, she created that. And let's be honest, I saw worse things than that. So let's take a look how it may look like. So we have a form, as I said. I can type in my name. I can say I need a teleport to avoid traffic and click submit button. There's a validation. Some fields are required. They were marked in red. So now I need to add some email. Now my request was sent. Everything works. Perfect, right? As a junior developer, it will be like the biggest achievement ever. And on LinkedIn, she will post like super long post telling and thanking everybody, starting from fourth grade teacher at preschool. But there's one catch with this approach. Our fish forgot that people are very, very different. And we, as people, have different needs. Some of them are very visible and kind of obvious when we start thinking about accessibility or people with disabilities. Like mostly we will think about someone who is blind, someone who can't hear, or someone who can speak. But there are different types of needs. There are also not permanent ones, but for example, temporary. When you broke your arm, you can't use the computer, mouse, and keyboard the same way as you are doing that normally. But we are not investing any special assistive technology, you don't buy any equipment, you don't learn some new programs because it's just temporary. And there are also some needs which are situational. For example, we are at a karaoke bar and it's super loud, so we can't hear anything. And our software should support also those situational needs. What is even more important, not all disabilities are visible. I took this picture in museum in London and I really loved it because we are different and we don't know if someone has problems, for example, with learning or have special needs. So empathy, it's like a keyword for accessibility. I use this difficult word a lot of time, but the question is what accessibility is, yeah? Because there are many definitions. Maybe we have some intuition what it may mean, but we are not really sure. So, of course, as everyone in 2023, I started with checking ChatGPT. And this definition is so long and contains so many difficult words that even in my native language, I'm not brave enough to read it loud, especially on the stage. To be honest, accessibility definition is much, much shorter. It's building software which is available for everyone, including people with disabilities. And this one sentence is totally enough to understand what accessibility is. Sometimes you can also see this shortcut, especially in tweets. So the A11Y or Ali, like someone are saying this word. But it's kind of funny because it's not accessible name for that. Because without my instruction, probably you won't know what does it mean. So it's better to use the whole long version, but don't be surprised when you see, for example, hashtag. Okay, I was speaking about goldfish, I was showing you some forms. Let's talk about real people and their needs. So I will show you how different people will try to use form created by our golden fish and what problems they will have with that. First of the person I want to describe is Mark. He's 34 years old, he's a bank analyst, and he really worked hard to finally build his dream house on Hawaii. He has 2 dogs, and he can't see colors. You may be surprised, but according to Colorblind Awareness Association, 1 of 12 men and 1 of 200 women in the world can't see colors. So it's kind of popular problem. And this form may look like this for our Mark. I will show you some demo how he is using that. So let's go back to our form. What is important? There are different types of color blindness. So what we are seeing now, it's like the first thing we have in our mind when we speak about color blindness, but there are different forms as well. So it may be also visible like this, that, or this one. So for majority of people with color blindness, the colors differ. What are problems in our form? Let's go back to this black-white version. The biggest problem is this submit button. You may see that even for us sitting in the further rows, it's hard to read. And here, it's really hard to read and find. What's more, please fix fields marked in red. Thank you. Thank you for nothing. I have no idea which one of them are red. So let's think how to fix that. Because as developers, we should fix that, right? And I see on your faces that some of you feel like this guy. They are telling me to do some CSSs. I have no idea what to do. For those who can't see, yeah, there's a ruler on the screen and he's trying to do something. In the beginning, I asked you who of you consider themselves a lazy person, because I want to show you something that it's much more comfortable than using ruler and works much better as well. So Chrome DevTools, who of you heard about this tool before? Almost everyone, perfect, because it's super useful developer toolkit, already built in your Chrome browser and available for free. For those who haven't seen it yet, you can open it using shortcuts visible on the screen, or going to your Chrome browser, finding this menu and developers tools there. And that's the view that majority of us know. So in Chrome DevTools, we have many different tabs. We can preview HTML3, we can preview styling on our page, we can see all requests sent, and so much more things. But today, I will focus only on those things connected with accessibility. One thing, I will do it live, so you know, just in case something can go wrong, let's be honest. So I have collection of cute dogs for you. If something went wrong, don't think about it, just look at the cute dog, okay? Right? Okay, I see some people are smiling, so it may work. Okay, so the first thing I want to show you is emulating those vision deficiencies, because you don't need any special plugins, you don't need any special code, just to see how your web page will look like for people with different types of color blindness. And in fact, you just need like few clicks in Chrome DevTools to emulate that. All you need is open your Chrome DevTools in a way I showed previously, or just right-click on your web page, click Inspect. Later on, you can go to Tools, More Tools, and find section called Rendering. Here are many options, but one of them is emulating vision deficiencies, where you can just switch between them and see how the web page look like with those emulation. You don't have to trust me that it works only on my page. We can do the same on any page available in the internet. So let's change it on our agenda as well. And yeah, as you can see, colors differ a lot. So what I always recommend when you are just starting work with accessibility is just change this setting for a while and start using the internet the same way you are using every day. Check your Instagram account, check your email, check your web page, how it will look like. Is everything still readable? Are all information there? Or maybe, you know, it's asking you to fill fields marked in red. Like, you may notice that very quick. But it's just preview. It's not changing everything, and we as developers very often want to focus on one thing. So let me just remove this setting for a second. No emulation. And now, as I said previously, it's visible that something wrong is with this submit button, right? So what we can do, we can, for example, inspect this element. To do so, we need to click this icon visible here and hover over the element. You may see there is an exclamation mark icon telling us there is something wrong with this element. Contrast is not enough. You should do something with that. And when we click on this element, it will be also opened in Styles tab. What's better? when we click on this color, again, I have this information that contrast ratio is not enough between text and the background behind, but we can expand this section, and Chrome DevTools will propose to us a new color, as close to the original one as possible, but filling the criteria about color contrast. So very quickly we can find a better color fitting our criteria, and it's super useful, especially when we don't have any UX designer in our team. Nice, don't you think? Okay. But going through each element on the page may be a little painful. It's okay when we are, for example, building that from the scratch, because we are working on this element, we will know what's happening there. But sometimes we need like a global overview. We just want to check everything on the page and see what's okay and what's not. And for that, we can use another option available in Chrome DevTools called CSS Overview. Who heard about this option before? No one. Yes, there's something I can show you. Okay, it's still in preview, but I hope it will stay us much longer because I really love this tab. It's providing us overview of all styling on the web page. In the beginning, we have some overview summary. To be honest, not super useful, mostly some statistics. But what I really love is this section about colors. And let me reload the page because I was playing a little with this performing, so probably something went wrong here. Yes, now it's okay. What I really like in this section is this report showing us all colors on the web page. And it might be not only useful when we are talking about accessibility, but also when we, for example, have color palette for our brand, and we want to just ensure that all colors are applied correctly. So we have list of all background colors used on our web page, all text colors, but also list of elements which have problems with contrast. And from here, we can click on them to see what exactly is the problem, which criteria is not fulfilled, and we can go to the Elements tab from here, where we can go to Styling and find a new color. So in just three or a little more clicks, we can easily detect all elements on our page which have problem with contrast ratio, and easily fix them. It's great. Okay, let's close that for now. Well, here. And go back to the presentation. Okay, doc was not needed. So what I did, if you need a reminder for yourself how to go there, just open Chrome DevTools, click three dots icon, More Tools, Rendering, Emulate Vision Deficiencies, and choose Value from dropdown to emulate different color deficiencies. It looks like that on UI. You can choose one of the options, and yeah, as I showed, there are some icons telling us something wrong is with contrast. And if you want to open CSS Overview, that's a way of doing that. So what are tips we can learn from this experience? First of all, we need to keep sufficient color between contrast color ratio between text, icon, and its background, just to be sure that everyone can read and understand what is in our element. The second thing, do not just rely on color when communicating something. So fields marked in red are not really useful information for our users. Time to go to the second person. Our second person is Susan. Susan is physiotherapist, she's 40 years old, and she's really, really great singer. She loves singing. She could spend days composing and playing the piano, and really dreams about home recording studio. But she can't see. So she also used our form a little differently. For her, it may be more like that. So she can't see the content. Screen reader will read her how it looks like. And here you can see preview of that, what will be read to the Susan. How we can emulate that. Let's go to the next tab. So again, when we open Chrome DevTools, I move them to the bottom of the page, we have something called, let's say we want to focus on submit button. We have firstly tab called accessibility. And here we can see area labels, we can see summary of this element, and so on, so on, so on. Not very useful, especially for beginners. But there's something I really, really love also in preview called full page accessibility tree. When I click this checkbox, I have to reload the DevTools to make it to see those changes. I will see the button with human, like here. And thanks to that, I can easily switch between HTML view and full page accessibility tree. Why it's nice? Because we know what exactly will be read to a screen reader without actually listening to that, so we can develop a little faster. Of course, it cannot fully replace testing with a screen reader, but it's a very convenient way of checking our software before we will go to screen reader. And there are few problems in our form. One of them is kind of obvious. So, screen readers, users mostly use keyboard navigation. And now I'm clicking tab. Looks good. Looks good. Looks good. Oops. The button is not available via keyboard. It's available only using mouse. Why? Let's take a look at our accessibility tree. We can see that submit is not a button. It's just generic text. Fortunately, we can kinda easily fix that. Please stop using divs as our buttons or any other elements. We have greater tags for that, like button. Let's change that. And when I change it to button, it's visible in accessibility tree correctly. And also, when I start tabbing, I can go to this element. Because HTML elements have already built-in support for accessibility in many, many cases. So you can create a div which is clickable and works as a button, but you will have to add a lot of work to support keyboard navigation, to add correct area tags to make it focusable, and so on, so on, so on. So it's just easier and better to use proper HTML tagging in this way. Okay, first problem is fixed. Let's take a look at the other elements. As you can see, our image has no description at all. But there are very important information on this image. As you can see, there's the whole instruction, what to do, and that the winner will be chosen on 1st February. So when we remove this element from the web page, we lost some information. Yeah, we can, for example, hide it for a while. Yeah. So what will be read by screen reader is that we have no idea why should I put something and when I can expect some results. We need those information. To do so, we can provide alternative text. So short description telling what exactly is on the image. But even better, image shouldn't contain information, because there's not only problem with people who are using screen readers, It may be also a problem when we try to translate our web page for many languages. I don't think you want to use separate image for each language you are supporting. Or when someone start making font a little bigger or use it on mobile. There are many difficult problems connected with putting information in the image. So it's much better just to put it somewhere else. And there are also other problems and more in our form. Can anyone notice that? I can give you a tip that, there are two problems. That our input fields looks differently. Can you notice the difference? Okay, I see that you need a little coffee, so I'll give you an answer. In first case, we don't know that name is connected with input. There's some text and there is some text box, but we don't have information. They are somehow combined. So when someone is going, for example, only through interactive elements on our web page, they will receive information, okay, there's some text box. I have no idea for what, which is focusable, settable, and so on, so on, so on. But I have no idea for what and what should I put there. The label before is done better. So here, I use something called labels. Thanks to that, even when I go directly to text box, I know it's text box for email. And we can also super easily fix that. It's enough to use label instead of div to wrap our text and input. Thanks to that, everything is connected and our user will know that we are expecting them to put some name there. There's also other problem here. As you can see, it's telling me that the field is not required. But previously we checked that and validation told us that, come on, girl, you cannot publish that. And this value is required. And for things like that, we have special attributes called area. And there are many different area. One of them is area required. We can just assign to value true. And thanks to that, even using screen reader, our user will know that we really require this field. Okay, a lot of things, but let's go back to the presentation. Yeah, just in case. I think I can scroll those screenshots. I put them just in case internet won't work. What is the most important? We can easily toggle between HTML and accessibility tree view, just to debug how our element will look like, how our properties are translated to this accessibility tree view. And what I really like, when you select the element on HTML, after toggling, our focus will still be on the same element. So we know exactly on which one we are operating. Yeah, that's the meme my friend regularly sent on our Slack channel. So please, we have so many great talks in HTML. Stop using divs everywhere. Be lazy people. Don't create your custom solutions for problems that already solved, yeah? So if I can give you some tips, yeah, first of all, use correct semantic HTML in correct order. It's also important. Each image should contain alternative text or maybe marked as decorative. So when we leave it as empty string, it won't be read. Our screen reader will know that it's only for decorations. And all actions available via mouse should be also available using keyboard navigation. Okay. Time for upgrade. This form was a little boring, so our fish decided I will add animation. As each junior developer started playing with CSS, decided it is cool and everyone will love that. My only worry is, yeah, we will finish with something like that. Please don't do stuff like that. I will find you, I will hunt you till the end of your life. But yeah, it was great in 90s. Now we are not doing stuff like that. And why? Because there are people like Bob. Bob is journalist, he is 27 years old, and he is bartender in his free time. He dreams of a house close to the beach so he can party, prepare his favorite drinks, and just have fun with friends. But he's really vulnerable for motions. And for some people, it's just a little annoying. For some people, it may cause some headaches. For some people, it may be like cognitive overload, so they can't focus on the text, they're just looking on the animations. And consequences may be much, much worse. Nausea, a lot of worse things. Not sure if you know, but we can reduce motions on the computer using OS property. Each OS operational system is supporting that. And for example, on Mac, you can just check this option, reduce motion. So animations will be reduced everywhere where it's possible. And we, as developers, should support that. It's super simple. We can use media query in CSS. Just check if prefers reduced motion is set to reduce, and then, for example, set animation to no. Or we can use this JavaScript snippet, check match media, and then remove animation if needed. What we can do with Chrome DevTools about that? So, first of all, we can emulate if this setting is set to true or not. Of course, we can easily change it on operations on OS level. But for example, when we want to have one tab with this reduced motion, the second one without them to compare, it may be easier just to emulate that. We are going back to More Tools, Rendering, and here we can find something called Emulate Prefers Reduced Motion. And as you can see, this web page is supporting that. So all animations stop. And yeah, it's kind of nice thing when we are developing. Now I will turn it off because I want to show you also something else. It's animations panel on the page. I have to reload the page to show you that, and maybe I will open that in a new window. What is that? It's a tab showing you all animations that exist on your web page. And you can also play with them. When you hover over found animations, you can see which one is that. So I want to go there. Give me a second, because of course, leave them. Okay, when you select this animation, you can see all properties connected with that. And we can play also with this animation. It's useful not only when we are speaking about accessibility, but also when we are trying just to improve something on our web page. What we can do here, we can make our animation slower or faster. I should probably go to the previous mode just to show you. Okay, maybe open it on the right side. Perfect. Now you can see that animation is much slower, and I can play with that. You can also restart animation. When it's not in loop, as here, it can be useful. And we can as well stop them. Come on, hover, don't do that. What else? Just grabbing the animation and moving that, we can delay the start. So we can play with this animation. We can also make it a little longer or shorter. We can play with keyframes, and we can click on this animation to know where exactly it occurs, and it will be also open in CSS styling tab, so we can experiment with that a little. Super nice thing, and it's super useful not only when we are talking about accessibility, but when we are playing with animations at all. Okay. So, doc, again, I will go shortly through the icons. Accessibility tips from this view. Each animation longer than 5 seconds should have the option to pause or hide this animation. All animation on the web page should respect this OS option. And yeah, now, a lot of talking, a lot of details, and I'm pretty sure that if you never thought about accessibility, it may be a little overwhelming. And it's not all what you should know. There are only some small things. Our fish felt exactly the same. We can show her some nice dogs. You know, it helps for everything, but it's not solution in this case. So, of course, our fish went to the owl because in each fairy tale it has to be super smart owl, and our owl proposed something called Lighthouse. Who of you heard about Lighthouse before? Okay, few people, perfect. So, what we can do with Lighthouse? Lighthouse is also built into Chrome DevTools, and it's a tool to perform automatic audits on web pages. So what we have to do is go to Lighthouse tab, choose, are we interested in mobile or desktop, navigation or other modes, and we can choose one of categories. One of them is accessibility. When you click Analyze Page Load, it will take few seconds, but after that you will receive the whole report telling you what is the state of accessibility on your web page. As you can see, the first thing we can see is a score, and the score is between 1 and 100. When it's lower than 50, it's bad. You should really take care of that. 51, 90, it's kind of okay, but can be improved, and we are aiming to receive a score 90 or more. But the score, it's not everything. What is really nice in this tool, we will receive the whole list of things we can improve on our web page. So, for example, one of the problems on our conference page is missing alternative text. It's super easy to miss, but here we are not only receiving information that something is missing, we have link to blog telling us why it's important and how we can fix that. And we have also list of failing elements. So you can click on that, find it in Elements tab, and easily detect which exactly elements need some support. There are also other problems, as you can see, and list of things to manually check. When you are just beginning with accessibility, it's also nice to check also those audits which passed. So you know what is important and what is checked here. Each report can be also downloaded in different formats, so you can also save your results and check if you are improving your stuff or maybe not. And okay, that's about Lighthouse. Here, do we trust machines? I know it's a very, very tough question recently because some people trust them a lot. To be honest, I think they're a little dramatic, and very often when we trust machines, it's look like this. We have a vacuum which claims that it's stuck near a cliff. A little dramatic. Why I'm talking about that? Because only 57% of problems with accessibility can be detected via automated tools. It's not much. It's a good starting point, especially for lazy people as us. So let the do machine what they can do. But we really, really also need manual testing. And yeah, it's super important to perform them regularly. In practice, we are not performing them like each time. Mostly after small bug fixes or improvements, we are checking only this area which changed, but before each release or weekly or monthly, depends on your product, those tests should be performed, especially including people with disabilities, if you have option like that, because those are the best audits you can perform. And if you don't know how to perform tests like that, I strongly recommend you a tool called Accessibility Insights for Web. It's a plugin for Chrome available for free, which will drive you step by step about things that should be tested on your web page. Will help you understand what should be tested, how to test that, and also there's like checklist, so you can download the full report telling you that, for example, you fulfilled only 50% or 80% of criteria here. As you can see, there are many categories like automated checks, but also headings, repetitive content, links, and so on, so on, so on. So super useful thing when you don't know how to start or just want to be sure that no one will miss important stuff. It may be also like guidelines for us what to do step by step. What I said, it's just a fair tale. There are no magical goldfishes. There are not junior developers. Also are not senior developers who will tell us which tools we should use. But problems are real. According to data, 1 of 12 men and 1 of 200 women in the world is colorblind. 1.3 billion people worldwide experience significant disability. 23% of disabled responders say they never go online. So there's a huge market open for us. Not all superheroes wear caps, so my ask is to become one of them. It is super easy. When you go home, just open your web page in Chrome browser, run Lighthouse accessibility audit, and fix at least one bug visible there. It may make a huge difference for your users. Thank you a lot. Let's make the internet accessible.